Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is something every foreign guy who lands in the Philippines should hear before they start downloading dating apps like their life depends on it. If you've ever wondered what really happens when a guy steps off the plane thinking he's about to live his tropical love story, you're in for a treat. Let's get into the story. I hope you enjoy it and have some laughs. When a foreign guy, let's call him Joe, lands in the Philippines, reality hits him harder than the humidity. He steps off the plane, instantly starts sweating in places he didn't know could sweat, and within 5 minutes, he's convinced he's living inside a romantic comedy. Everyone's smiling, airport staff are calling him sir like he just won an election, and somewhere in the distance, there's karaoke echoing through the air like a national anthem. Joe's inner voice is screaming, "This is it! I found paradise and possibly my future wife before I even cleared customs." But paradise has a way of testing your patience right from the start. Before Joe can begin his tropical love story, he faces his first boss battle, the Philippine immigration. The officer takes his passport, gives a polite smile, and then asks the dreaded question, "Sir, do you have a return ticket?" Joe's confident grin vanishes. He doesn't. He wasn't planning to return, not until he found true love, or at least figured out how to cook rice properly. He tries to charm his way through it, mumbling something about wanting to experience the culture and keeping things flexible. The officer's smile fades into a poker face. She raises an eyebrow, types for what feels like an eternity, and starts asking questions about his hotel, itinerary, and why his 2-week vacation looks suspiciously open-ended. Joe starts sweating so much that the humidity actually gives up and lets him take over. 20 painfully awkward minutes later, she finally stamps his passport and says, "Enjoy your stay, sir." He walks out of the airport soaked, stressed, but victorious, his face shiny, his shirt glued to his back, and his dream still very much alive. The adventure continues. As Joe steps out of the airport, blinking into the blinding Manila sunlight, he's greeted by a heartwarming sight, rows of beautiful Filipinas excitedly hugging their foreign boyfriends who just arrived. It's like a live trailer for Love Actually, the Tropical Edition. One woman jumps into her partner's arms, another's holding a bouquet, and Joe's standing there, clutching his sweaty backpack like it's emotional support luggage. He smiles to himself and thinks, "Give it a year. That'll be me." Before Joe can even finish his daydream, a smiling taxi driver appears out of nowhere, as if summoned by destiny. "Sir, you need taxi? Makati? BGC?" Joe's eyes widen. How did he know where he's staying? Wow, he thinks, these people are so intuitive. The driver beams, grabs Joe's bag with the confidence of an old friend, and ushers him toward a car that's technically a taxi but spiritually an adventure. Halfway through the ride, the driver casually mentions, "Meter broken, sir, but I give you very good price, special rate." He names a number that could probably fund a small wedding, and Joe, still high on tropical kindness and jet lag, happily agrees. He's convinced he just made his first local friend. The driver nods, pockets the cash, and says, "Welcome to the Philippines, sir." Joe grins. No idea he just paid enough to cover the driver's gas for a week. After paying his special rate, Joe finally checks into his hotel. He tosses his luggage on the bed, changes his shirt without taking a shower, because in his mind, that totally resets hygiene, and decides it's time for dinner. The rice with rice combo on the plane didn't quite hit the spot, so he sets out in search of something familiar. And there it is, glowing in the Manila night like a golden temple of Western comfort, McDonald's. He marches straight in, rehearsing his safety blanket order in his head. "Big Mac meal." He trails off. He glances around, realizing that the colorful, massive banners plastered on every wall aren't for the Big Mac. They're all for the crispy, famous bone-in chicken, the Chicken McDo. It's clearly the signature dish here. Joe takes a deep breath. What the hell, he thinks. I'll give the local thing a go. I can get a burger next time. He points vaguely. Okay, I'll take that. One of those chicken McDo meals. Large Coke. The cashier, a smiling Filipino with the charm of a Disney princess, beams, rings it up, and hands him a receipt like she's just introduced him to destiny. As Joe takes the tray and heads to his table, he glances at his meal, the crispy chicken next to a steaming mound of rice. He thinks. Never thought I'd be eating rice at McDonald's, but hey, life is change. Joe doesn't know it yet, but this is the moment everything changes. Because from now on, no matter where he goes, who he dates, or what he orders, one thing is certain. There will always be rice. As Joe digs into his chicken and rice combo, something clicks. The meal feels incomplete, not emotionally, but romantically. He wipes his hands on a napkin, pulls out his phone, and decides it's time to connect with the culture. Within 5 minutes, he's downloaded every dating app ever created by man, including a few that probably went out of business in 2014. Just a bit of cultural immersion, he mutters, while setting his search radius to everywhere. His profile bio becomes a masterpiece of misplaced optimism. Just a simple guy looking for genuine connection. Translation: I've been in this country for 4 hours. My body has become one with the climate, and I'm about to fall in love because someone said, "Good evening, sir." Within an hour, he's swiping like a man trying to put out a fire. Every hypo feels like a marriage proposal. Every "good evening, sir" sounds like a tragic love poem. He doesn't know yet that "Good morning, handsome" is a copy-paste message being sent to 50 other guys, each one also convinced he's won the foreigner lottery. Joe's now deep in the "I'm the only American she's ever noticed" phase of magnificent delusion. Then it happens, his first match. Her name is Angel. Of course it is. Her profile picture looks like it was taken in paradise, or maybe just cropped from a travel agency poster with someone else's palm tree in the background. Joe's hooked. They start chatting, and 3 hours later, he's already planning their future family Christmas cards. 2 days later, she calls him babe. He practically levitates. Wow, people move fast here. It must be the tropical sun accelerating true love. He immediately starts watching YouTube videos titled "How to Say I Love You in Tagalog." Meanwhile, his friends back home are sending messages like, "Bro, are you sure this isn't a scam?" And he just scoffs, "You just don't understand the authentic cultural dynamic, man." Feeling confident, Joe decides it's time to take things to the next level, a real date. He messages Angel. "How about dinner tomorrow?" She replies almost instantly. "Oh, I wish, babe. But my uncle is very sick and in the hospital." Joe's heart drops. Not only is she gorgeous, but she's family-oriented. A rare gem. "Is he okay?" he asks. "We're just short on hospital bills," she replies, adding a crying emoji so tragic it could win an Oscar. 2 hours later, Joe is sitting on his hotel bed, lights dimmed, transfer app open, whispering to himself like he's in a romantic drama. This isn't just money. This is a gesture of love. He sends it. The confirmation screen pops up, and he smiles, imagining her wiping away tears of gratitude. What he doesn't imagine is someone 3 time zones away celebrating the arrival of their brand new PlayStation. Then, silence. Angel disappears like a magician. No replies, no messages, nothing but digital dust. Joe refreshes the chat every few hours, hoping it's just bad signal, but deep down, he knows. The truth hits him like Manila traffic. He's been scammed. Outrage turns to heartbreak, then to full-on self-pity. He swears he's done with the Philippines, done with dating, done with everything that requires Wi-Fi. For the next few days, Joe becomes one with his hotel room. Curtains closed, heartbroken, dignity somewhere in a Western Union receipt. He lives entirely off grab food deliveries, slowly learning that you can, in fact, get tired of chicken adobo. Then, one night, a small notification lights up his phone. A match. Her name is Maria. Must be one of the early swipes from day one, before heartbreak and enlightenment. Joe hesitates. His last babe cost him a few thousand pesos and a bit of his soul. But curiosity wins. He opens the chat. They start talking, and Maria seems different. She's not love-bombing him, not asking for money, not calling him my forever. She says she's from the province, works part-time and has patchy Wi-Fi but good intentions. Joe's intrigued. This time, he's cautious. He's a changed man. After an hour of chatting, he finally says, "Maybe we could video call tomorrow?" She replies, "Sure, why not?" The next day, Joe treats the video call like a royal event. He shaves, sprays enough cologne to fumigate the room, completely forgetting she can't smell him, and sets up lighting worthy of a YouTube influencer. When she finally answers, reality crashes the fantasy. Maria's on camera with a towel on her head, yelling at her sibling to stop playing Mobile Legends while trying to cook on a gas stove. Joe blinks, completely disoriented, but his rom-com brain kicks in. "She's so real," he whispers, enchanted. A week later, he decides to meet her. He books a 7-hour bus trip to the province. 7 hours. The longest journey he's ever taken before this was from his sofa to the fridge. The bus stops every 20 minutes for reasons unknown, sometimes to pick up passengers, sometimes to let random people climb aboard and sell snacks. At one point, a man walks down the aisle holding a basket and asks Joe, "You want banana?" Before Joe can politely say no, 2 bananas land in his lap and the man is already demanding a few pesos. Joe pays, confused but obedient. The bus is now packed shoulder to shoulder. The air conditioner is just pretending to work, and Joe silently prays they'll arrive soon. His legs are cramping. His knees are jammed into the seat in front of him, and he's realizing these buses were not designed for 6-foot foreigners. When he finally arrives, Joe realizes he's not meeting one person, he's meeting an entire community. Half the neighborhood is there. Her mom hugs him like he just returned from war. Her aunt keeps shouting, "Selfie! Selfie!" And her uncle instantly locks onto Joe like a long-lost drinking buddy. "Joe, my friend," the uncle says loudly, slapping him on the back. "You like karaoke?" "I tell you, my brother-in-law, he has tricycle, good business, maybe you invest?" Joe smiles politely, nodding even though he understands maybe 10% of what's being said. He's confused, overwhelmed, but deeply touched. This isn't just a date, it's a welcoming ceremony. And then he finally sees her. Maria, standing there, shy but smiling, like the only calm person in a human carnival. Joe freezes. After all the chatting, the emojis, and the pixelated video calls, she's real. He tries to say something smooth, but his brain short-circuits and what comes out is, "Wow, you look even more real than on video." She giggles, which somehow makes it worse and better at the same time. He pulls out what used to be a rose, now a tired, half-flattened survivor of a 7-hour bus ride. It's a miracle there's even anything left of it. He offers it like it's the rarest flower on earth, and she accepts it with a sweet smile. For Joe, it's official. This is love, confirmed in high definition. Dinner is served, and Joe meets his final boss, Balut. The family insists. He tries to politely refuse, speaking in careful English like he's negotiating a hostage release, but it's useless. The fertilized duck egg somehow teleports into his hand. Everyone's watching. He opens it slowly, staring inside like he's just discovered a prehistoric creature. The smell hits him like emotional damage. Still, he smiles, says, "Wow, delicious," and takes a heroic bite. For the next 10 seconds, his soul briefly leaves his body. After surviving Balut, Maria asks if he wants to join karaoke night. Joe hesitates for a microsecond. Next thing he knows, he's holding a microphone, drenched in sweat, giving a painfully emotional, off-key performance of Total Eclipse of the Heart. Maria's mom is clapping like it's the Grammys, her uncle's handing him a San Mig light, and someone's recording the whole thing on Facebook Live. The uncle slaps him on the back, shouting, "Welcome to the family, Joe." Joe's never felt so alive, or so close to dying of secondhand embarrassment. A few days later, it's time for Joe to head back to his home country. Maria and half the neighborhood escort him to the bus station like he's shipping off to war. Her mom waves a towel, her uncle gives him one last round of unsolicited business advice, and Maria hands him a packed lunch the size of a small suitcase, just rice and love. When he finally sits on the bus, she messages, "Take care always, my heart." Joe's chest tightens. He's convinced this is the beginning of something real, something lasting. What he doesn't know is that he's about to enter the most intense phase of any long-distance relationship, the texting Olympics, where one wrong emoji can end world peace. Back home, Joe is determined to keep the spark alive. He wakes up early, checks the time difference, and crafts good morning messages like love poems. At first, everything feels perfect. They're constantly chatting, sending heart emojis, and proving that long distance can work. But little does Joe know, this isn't just casual texting anymore. He's officially entered the arena known to every foreign man who's dated a Filipina, the texting phase. It starts cute. "Good morning, Po." "Have you eaten, Po?" It quickly escalates to the interrogation with emojis. "Where are you, Po?" "Who is she, Po?" "Why did you like that photo from 2017, Po?" Joe replies, "Haha, just with friends," and immediately gets a suspicious 3-minute delay, followed by, "What friends?" "Send picture of all of them." He's learning about tempo, the mysterious emotional storm that can strike without warning. She texts, "It's okay." It is not okay. She says, "I'm fine." She is definitely not fine. She changes her profile picture to something slightly sad, maybe a black and white shot of a cartoon teardrop. That is his cue to apologize. For what? He's not sure, but he apologizes anyway. It is the language of survival. Months later, Joe can't take it anymore. The time zones have aged him 10 years, and he's starting to say good morning to her at midnight. Even his phone battery has given up on their relationship. So, he books another flight to the Philippines. This time, there's no confusion at immigration, no awkward questions about return tickets, just Joe, smiling like a man who's already fallen and accepted his fate. When he steps out of the arrival hall, it feels familiar. The same wall of humidity, the same echo of karaoke somewhere in the distance, but this time, someone's actually waiting for him. Maria spots him, waves, and runs up with that same shy smile from the bus station. And just like that, Joe's back where he belongs. Months go by, and Joe has officially transformed. He now eats rice with every single meal, he owns precisely 7 pairs of cheap flip-flops, and he stopped checking the weather because it's always hot with a chance of sudden biblical rain. He's learned that when a Filipina says she'll be ready in 10 minutes, it means he has time to cook a full dinner, shower, and watch an entire episode of a Netflix series. He's learned that "we'll see" means no, and maybe later means "forget it, you fool." He's even developed that special Filipino talent for being perpetually late, but also incredibly chilled about it. He walks into a meeting 30 minutes behind schedule, gives the shaka sign, and just says, "Traffic, bro." He's gone full local, except for the questionable tan line on his neck where his expensive headphones used to sit. And yet, despite all the chaos, the endless tempo cycles, the sheer volume of rice consumed, and the mandatory family gatherings, he's genuinely happy. He realized that somewhere in all that beautiful mess, Filipinas have this rare ability to make love feel warm, funny, and utterly real. They'll tease you mercilessly, test your patience with the fire of 1,000 suns, but they will also care for you with a fierceness you've never known. Joe's not the starry-eyed tourist who stepped off the plane anymore. He's an official fixture, the guy who now knows to bring an extra plastic bag for the leftovers and can spot a fake "I'm fine" from a mile away. So next time you see a foreign guy walking through the mall with that proud, slightly shell-shocked smile, a girlfriend calling him babe every 2 minutes, and carrying a sack of groceries that his new extended family will immediately devour, just know he's probably living his own little action-packed romantic comedy. It's a movie complete with occasional drama, a whole lot of rice, and a very loud karaoke soundtrack playing 24/7. And that, my friends, is what dating in the Philippines really looks like for a foreign guy. It's a wild, confusing, and hilarious addiction, and you wouldn't trade your perfectly imperfect love story for any first-class ticket home. If this made you laugh or sweat in sympathy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more stories from the islands. And if you've got your own wild or funny experience to share, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to read it. See you in the next one. Bye for now.